And here we are for the first streamed Grindhouse game of the day. We have Dredge on Larry's. Midwish was banned by one of the teams, so it is not a Dredge Midwish game. So we have a very spicy Dredge build. We have Ruin, Devour Hope, Pentimento. Make your choice with reasonably standard add-ons, but the survivors have some spicy perks as well. Dredge will find first chase. Down here by one of the long rooms. Chase will be in the same room as one of the totems, which is definitely going to help Dredge. And that looks like a quick and quiet. As you'll see, quite a few of these survivor builds are playing around Larry's extremely well. He's already a strong pallet, and Dredge is instantly going to leave and interrupt the TV gen with a likely 7% skill check. Interrupts two different generators and gets an early hit on Nos. This is PSR Dredge versus Dead Future Survivor Team. Chase going back to where the first pallet was broken in the first chase. Walking right by the totem again. Unsure if that was called by the Survivor Team. While this was a window, gets the first down on Nos. No gens have popped yet. Survivors are definitely well aware of Ruin. Likely unaware of the rest of this unusual build. I don't think any Survivor Team plans around this. First hook comes in. Teleport probably going to try to push off these two gens that was spotted earlier. TV still has progress on it. Teleport finds where the third worked on gens being, and it will pop through Ruin. Great commit. We'll take a hit for it, but very likely worth it through the Ruin. Otherwise, that generator is going to tick away so much progress. Library, God Pop, pre-drop. They're going to learn about Make Your Choice now. Wants to teleport straight back to get the exposed hit on the unhooker. A second gen will pop for it though. But does have two injured with Malthinker Skull. Good pressure coming up from the Dredge. Finds the unhooked Nos at a filler pallet. One totem does get cleansed. That appears to be Ruin. Gets the second down onto Nos. And on this hook, Nightfall will come in. That is Nos, a very early death hook for the two gens. You're gonna get Pentimento on where the Ruin is. So now we know which one is Pentimento and which one is Devour Hope, but the survivors likely unaware of these two perks. Killer Instinct on 2. And the other hook gets to deny a lot of progress on these gens. And to some degree, Proxy Camp Nos. Getting a tunnel out here with on Larry's, with this many gens left, with the threat of Devour Hope is scary. Pentimento does get cleansed though. Right now playing with two perks. Here's the second stack of Devour Hope going back to the tunnel. FTP onto Nos means the exposed Sable is now injured, so Make Your Choice does not matter. And it's gonna be a lot harder to tunnel out Nos, who does take a hit. Sable leaves the trail. But going after Sable, likely to try to get Devour Hope value. This power is already broken and will lead to a down. On to Jinxie. Gonna try to walk back over to the general area of this exit gate. Likely gonna be looking at that TV gen if it is still up. Very important map to not... Very important gen on this map to not give up. I'm gonna go all the way across the map. Hope someone's here. And no one is. And a gen pops on the other side of the map as a result, but does find Nos camping the God Pound in the hallway. That's Library God Pound and Hallway God Pound both dropped. And we hear a scream. Instantly teleports back to it with 3 stacks of Devour Hope. Everybody is exposed. They just don't know it yet. Let's find the Ancient Sable. Probably the best target for Dredge to find in the survivor's perspective. Fully unaware of it though, and here's another long hallway god pallet. That's probably the 4 strongest pallets on the map gone. The last one left being the god corner pallet. And again, we'll pop for the attempt of a tunnel out on Nos. It's gonna leave this pallet up, playable with dredge power. We haven't seen much dredge anti-loop potential here. Here's another exit gate. Here's a good way to use the dredge power. And dredge anti-loop will, as a buy box coming in, but Nos is gonna go down. Loris here is exposed. Unless they cleanse and devour hope. I think they might have. But here is the kill onto Nos. This is what you're looking for on any killer on areas, and devour hope is still active. Ares is a rough map. Once you get someone down, it's a lot of stealth killers who play this. Very hard to get gen pressure out. Gets the hit through the pallet. Probably gonna look to see if someone is hovering for the save. So gonna leave it for the gen, scared of the gen popping in his face. Gonna spot one. Leaving Jinxie slugged for quite a while. Sees the library has some progress. Spots the one, Nightfall giving great vision, but choosing to go back to the slug now. Are they expecting someone to go the pickup or expecting the gen to be high on progress? Either way, getting something for this teleport. Still under the same pallet. Likely someone going for the trade. Trying to bait it out, maybe? Regardless, gonna get the hook. He's sitting on 5 stages too fresh. 1 gen left, we know at least 1 has high progress. And 2 with kind of low to middling progress. Dredge trying to do the best with Devour Hope and using teleport, trying to get a little bit of an easier teleport back maybe if you see someone with the Devour Hope stack. I'm not scared of that long room gen on the bottom side of the map being done. Walking over to it now though. Do they pop it and let Jinxie die? No. How gets the kick on it. Coming back to the hook, not caring about the Devour, the 3 stacks Devour, not caring about the Mori. Going for the value out of that exposed. No one can do anything. Looks like Jinxie is going to be left on hook. Because you can't really save against the killer with insta-downs. Perfectly fine leaving it. That's the second kill. It's a 2v1 against full exposed survivor team, and one of them just got found. Loris goes down before they can make a window. Finesse, the only survivor standing. Is Tyro gonna slug Loris for 4 minutes to try to find Finesse? Might be the smartest comp play. If you only play pubs, this is the time to look away. As Tyro has complete control on these generators right now. Sitting in the locker just to listen to the progress and see if there's sparks or not. Let's see what Finesse is doing. Is Finesse stealthing this out, trying to hover for a gen? We don't know. He is gonna pick, not gonna pick Loris. Still looking for Finesse. We're just playing the waiting game. I was trying to find Finesse. Finesse trying to figure out if they can get a safe pickup. If Loris is going to crawl far enough away out of the Dredge's line of sight, or is Finesse just going to camp a hack, try to make this a difficult 4K1 Tycon? Power Hope's still active. Doesn't look like the play is the totem. Doesn't look like the play is the slug. But can Finesse really finish the generator? Tyvo resorting to checking lockers. Not a clue where Finesse is, but Nightfall. Gonna make these teleports very fast. Getting Killer Instinct. That might have been the goal. You're just gonna see Tyvo spam between a lot of lockers, trying to figure out where Finesse is. Hoping it happens so we don't have to sit here any longer. Going back to this long room that we've visited so many times. Checking exit gates. They're far enough away from lockers that the Killer Instinct wouldn't get found. Loris has been on the floor for 2.5-ish minutes now. Got a minute to minute and a half left on bleed out. But Loris has not been hooked yet. Here's the God corner pallet. Maybe trying to crawl to it? Regardless, Tyvo is done waiting, cannot find. Just gonna hook Loris. Then Tyvo gets another 60 seconds before Loris is likely gonna give up on hook to give Finesse a chance at the hatch. Checking this long room generator again, doesn't find anybody on it. Walking back over to the library gen, doesn't find anybody on it. Walks back to the third gen, nothing again. The speed boost from Devour Hope being more of a visual pleasantry than anything useful. Choosing to play hide and seek more than Dead by Daylight, but looks like Seek is the winner. As Finesse does get found, trying to bait the pallet throw, but misses the swing. Finesse is still exposed from Devour Hope, and he hits it down. And he downs a pickup. And he pickups a hook, and the end of the match. Finesse just going for time, hoping it's enough time that Loris does hit stage 2. Loris likely going to die to give Finesse a chance at the hatch. But it's going to take another 5 to 10 seconds before Loris gets to. But is that enough time? Looks like it's going to be enough time for Tyvo. Besides Finesse making the pallet. Gonna try to leave it, but gets the hit before they make the second pallet. If they made that, had a reasonable chance of finding the hatch, but that looks to be the end of the match. Result is a 4K1. Let's find out if Dead Future's Dredge will be able to do the same, better, or worse against PSR's Survivor team. On this unusual Dredge, Larry said, as we hear hatch inside a room, just to remind Finesse what they were looking for. We'll be back for the second half. Welcome back to the second half of PSR versus Dead Future Dredge Larry set. Jinxie from Dead Future against the PSR squad of Georgie, Tyvo, Alexi, and Almost Pie. Fun fact, by the way, all 5 players in this match are staff on the Grindhouse. And yes, all of their staff roles were removed before this match. We already see a pallet pre-drop even before the first chase. And every killer is pain of that bubble, making sure I can't cast. Who dropped it? Not a clue. Not a chance. What we'll find is the first survivor. Almost Pie running through TV room. Breaking Jinxie's ankles apparently, but I don't think Dredge has ankles. First chase going to library. Does not drop the pallet. Going to the long room, going into the corrupt side. We see much more standard Dredge build and much more standard survivor play as a result of that. First chase going to the corrupt. And we do see the God Powder here as well, being passed. And another pre-drop pallet. Don't think Pie makes it back to the God pallet. We'll take it here. And that's the first hit of the match. And was that a skill check missed? That was a skill check missed. Jinxie is almost as confused as I was. Dredge now seems to be dropping the chase, interrupting the other long room generator, and finding Tybo as a result. (50-51) by Jinxie. Pallet was not dropped. Gets hit as a result. So Abby going back to library should make the library pallet. Hopefully makes the library pallet and drops the library pallet. No stun. Jinxie respects it. Going back to the bottom side of the map though. Corrupt is over by time, not by down. And there's the first gen popping as a result. Will drop the God pallet and the Firecracker. Cover your eyes. Chase staying on this bottom side of the map, going back to where this chase started. No pallet in the pallet still dropped in this room, pardon. As the second gen pops for what should be the first down, because Georgie's hit tank comes in 2 to 3 seconds too late. Tybo already dropped the Firecracker, so Dredge only scared of the flashlight. But Jinxie knows that isn't an angle. We'll be hooking deep on this bottom side of the map where the Corrupt was, because the 2 gens pop to top side. Meaning that Jinxie might be able to hold a 3 gen here. But let me get this straight. Was that Repressed Alliance to deny the pop? That might have been. As Georgie takes it here, let's look at Georgie's perks real quick. Was that Repressed Alliance? We'll find out soon. Does kick this long room gen right as pop was about to expire. And Nightfall coming back to the hook. Gonna do a little bit of cleanup. There are 4 gens close enough to the hook for Dredge to be able to patrol, kick with Eruption. Probably gonna give up the 1 gen topside as heals come through, so he knows there's much less gen pressure happening right now. Sees 2 in the long room. As Tybo hits second stage. He knows where every survivor is now. Alexi on this exit gate tile now. Gonna go straight back to hook, straight back to not quite the hook, but close enough to be able to keep an eye on this gen. He does not want to lose this. Will get the hit on Alexi. Alexi does not trade for it. Takes chase around the map, still in the 4 gen though. Can be dicey. But gets to the exit gate pallet. Greg's trying to play around it. Tybo does get unhooked. Tybo is now death hook injured. They do pop one of those. That was the generator with Eruption on it. The gen popping just before the Eruption came through. Those few extra seconds bought is what mattered. A very big difference between Dredge holding this 3 gen versus a 4 gen. Means can only play for the Tycon with these 3 gens, because 4k1, 4 kills at 1 generator left is the tie condition, not the win condition. Alexi does get unhooked. Still injured though and running away from the 3 gens. We're going to see a long, slow Eruption game if Jinxie wants a chance. Chooses to get the pop and Eruption rather than trying to take an earlier chase on Georgie. Georgie runs to the long room and looks like we'll make it safely out of the 3 gen. Jinxie holding the teleport, trying to walk around, trying to catch a survivor on this gen off guard. Sees it still regressing, teleports immediately back. Just trying to play the 3 gen. And we'll find Georgie in that 3 gen. Takes the hit. Will Dredge be able to cut off Georgie's retreat into the safe half? Choosing to commit to it. Zoning, trying to get Georgie to walk back and go down in the bottom side, and it seems to be working. Will Georgie make this? Makes the library window, but Jinxie knew Georgie would make the window. Takes the other side of it, gets the down. Likely gonna try to walk this back into the 3 gen. Is 7%. Not hooking. This must be a Scourge Hook. Spectators can't see Scourge Hooks. Don't ask me why. I just know it's a fact. As Pi gets an almost immediate unhook, this is going to force Dredge to have to give up the free unhook or not use pop. Chooses to give up the unhook mostly to get pop. Good heads up play that the hook was out of the 3-gen. One unhook can get them out of the situation. And once again, Jinxie has very little pressure besides hopes and prayers that a down is going to come in and giving him all of the regression back. Back on next gate. We've seen quite a few dredges get looped here. Most time is only the dredge getting a hit, but this one does not. And this survivor just standing there menacingly as gen pops. That's the one outside of the 3-gen though. Not using that to 99 and soak the pain reses. An interesting play, but with eruption that could get scary if it gets kicked one time. But it is a decision coming out of survivors. Another decision is having two people here, making sure that even if one gets hit, that they both get far enough away from the 3-gen. Pi getting hit, excuse me. And this is why you'll see a lot of dredges run sloppy. This hit and leave playstyle very common. But with this win condition, with all this aggression, with a lack of sloppy, Jinxie doesn't have much of a choice. Gets to 50-50, even though that vault was silent, likely from Quick and Quiet. Has to immediately teleport back to the gen. Heard the eruption go off. Scared this is going to get popped. We see it's low enough progress that this gen would likely not pop. Almost guaranteedly. So loses the pressure of the hook, but still has the pressure of the down, and hits Tyro. Pi gets picked up. We know where 3 survivors are. And Jinxie does too, going back to find where that 4th one is. And there's Repressed Alliance. Georgie, the correct survivor to be doing that gen solo, making sure that there cannot be a kick, there cannot be an eruption, but will Georgie be going down as a result of that Repressed Alliance commitment? Choosing to go deeper into the 3-gen instead of the safe pallet. Now Jinxie is going to get exactly what a Dredge wants, or any killer, with pop and eruption. A hook deep in the 3-gen on a map that is very easy to 3-gen. This is a very rectangular map, skinny map. Dredge has enough mobility to be able to handle it. And remember, a lot of these stronger bottom side map pallets have been dropped. Libraries dropped, God hallways dropped, God rooms dropped. Don't know where God corner pallet is. And we saw the other long room had a very weak pallet. There's not many resources left for the survivors on the bottom side of the map pallet-wise. A couple bad ones. And Larry's RNG windows. Sable will get the unhook. Lexi does get hit for it. And Jinxie saw just a glimpse of a 3rd survivor here. I'm gonna hear Jen with very high progress. Going to hit Pi here. Now there's 3 injuries in a 3-gen. Only saving grace is a very close corner God pallet. But we'll be able to find someone with Killer Instinct. Is this during a reset? That's an ancient survivor. Likely catching them off on the way to the reset. Georgie does get healed though, so some of the reset is coming through. But they're gonna have to give up a pallet. And possibly a down. And pinches Pi. Gets the hit on the pallet. There's the eruption on the 2 generators. Knowing Jinxie has time to hook this. Gets the heal on Alexi. And there you hear the spikes. Saddest noise if you're a killer. Relatively new feature. I And you can only kick one gen 8 times. Kick or any other gen regression event, including but not limited to Pain Res, Pop, Eruption, or just kicking it. Onhook comes out from Pi. Teleports back to one of the side gens in the 3 gen. Sees it's at 0. Sees this one's at 0. And what's the progress on this last gen? It's very low. We saw there was some high progress on these gens earlier. They're back to nothing or almost nothing. Jinxie now has a bit of free time to try to get some pressure. Sees scratch marks, doesn't choose to go after it. And remember, the win con, the tie con is 4k1. Jinxie has to 4k without losing another generator. And there's 4 survivors alive. If one survivor was dead, this is significantly easier for Jinxie. But for the survivors, they have to play very disciplined to be able to get this done. Discipline like even after Alexi gets hit to keep running out of the 3 gen. But Pi gets found. Almost Pi, more like almost didn't get spotted, but does. And now stuck in a very weak room with the pallet dropped. Chooses to leave it, gets the other pallet. Jack's trying to mind game this. Pallet gets dropped, gets the hit on top of it. But no eruption, gotta be aware. Gens might be popping. Gets a very fast hook though. And once again, not dead. They're gonna commit to this gen, try to pop it, and they will. That is the win condition for the survivors. That is the set win for the survivor team of PSR. Ivo's 4k1 was enough, but we're gonna see just how much this survivor team can do, how many stages get out of the gates. Georgie's death hook. We're sitting on 8 stages. Alexi's worth 2, Tybo and Pi are worth 1 more. Will this be an 8-stage forfetch or just a little bit more for Jinxie to walk back with? Hits Pi, 2 injured. Gate is open though. If Tybo is here to take this hit, that's gonna be 4 stages out. Not here to take the hit, but doesn't get there in time. Out the gate, and out the gate. That's 4 stages. Out the gate, 8 stages forfetch. PSR takes it. And we're back for set 2. And here we are in PSR Dead Future, set 2. Wesker on Wretched Shop. It does appear Wesker is not wearing the cop fit, which is a big disappointment to quite a few viewers. But hopefully the gameplay is better than the skin choice. The next oddity that we're going to see is there is no egg on this Wesker. This is double medallion. That yellow medallion increases what is effectively the throw distance. Dropping egg is a very unusual choice in most people's opinion. But at least he does have the standard builds. Iranican on the Wesker. This was Iranican team pick. And it makes sense if you have watched Iranican stream. And that is the con of losing egg, is those tiles like that. Let's see if they can do it again. Gets the stun. Pallets being Wesker's worst nightmare. Mastermind, but not a master of pallets. But definitely a master of seeing one pallet be dropped and leaving chase. Here we are on Georgie now. Went from Tyro to Alexi to a hit on to Georgie. As we're going Shaq now. Shaq is corrupted though. Shaq is dropped. A lot of pre-drops happen in this game. It's Wesker. What do you expect? Here we are in, I believe, an imposter 4 lane. As the gen pops for the first down, good sign for the Survivor team. 2 gens pop for the first down. Little pallets like this make it difficult to use Wesker's power. Unless that happens, that's the first down. 2 gens do pop though. And there's a pain res value. Based on the fact that it wasn't hopped off, it was very likely that it was calm, that gen was high progress. I'm just going to try to commit and pop it before the pain res, which likely doesn't happen. See scratch marks at Shack, walking back over to it, no progress on the gen. Very split generators. Gonna be hard to 3-gen this. Might be able to play that 3 on the one side of the map. Not very strong though. The ideal 3-gen on this map is behind Shack corner. That certainly isn't happening. We do hear some progress on Shack. We didn't hear that earlier, so we know someone is in the general vicinity of it. They just seem to be content camping this hook, kicking this pallet, committing Georgie to second. Now this should be a slightly better visual for y'all, as the value of camping gives time to get a better reshade for viewer experience. Another gen is going to pop in the distance, as we do have a chase at Shack. Georgie has hit second though. Chase on Pi. So we know where 3 out of 4 of the survivors are. First dash misses. Second one hits. Looked like they might have been trying to throw into the corner to get a double tap. Hits a tree instead. Don't find out, but this should be a hit on the window. It is a smack on the window on to down Pi. Now the question that they are facing is going to be if you go for the pain res, the basement hook, and you get a pain res. Georgie infected with 2 hooks, Pi infected with 1 hook. Chavo next to he's still fresh, but Alexi getting spotted, but not directly chased. Don't know if they didn't see it or choosing not to. As Alexi seems to be sneaking over to the hook. Gets the killer instinct from Georgie. Disinfecting. And there's another gen popping in the distance. 3 gens left on the map. Gotta defend all 3 of them, because 3 hook stages in a Wesker game usually doesn't cut it. The unhook does come in before Pi hits second. No pallet here. Gets the smack against the hill. Tyvo here to take a body block. Make sure Georgie doesn't die. Gonna choose to... Oh no. Oh, was that in accidental? Or was that intentional to get back onto Georgie? Because that might have been just enough time to get Georgie before this window. Looks like a horrible mistake. Turns into a great play. Gets the first kill with pop. And is gonna have 1 charge. 3 more seconds so they can double dash, try to stop a generator. What a beautiful play. Convincing Tyvo to dodge the dash to get the vault. Beautiful play. That is why they picked Wesker. Doesn't get the hit on the window though. But now Alexi's stuck playing an imposter 4-lane against a mastermind. Smart enough not to throw the pallet though. Walking back to Shack, that's by a generator though. Still stuck at this 4-lane, zoning themselves. Looks to be gonna be a down in this edge map. Just waiting for someone to write it off, and there's the down. Wesker having a little more confidence than Alvanicamp right now. With these amount of hook stages, Shack's high progress. I hope this is pain res. And it is. That RNG might have just saved this game. If that was high enough progress and it wasn't called that was a painless hook, maybe they would have gotten there with Pop. But they might not have. I'm gonna question that pathing about as much as you are. That's what the pathing was. An adrenaline hit. And gonna smack them during the unhook. Should be able to get the, yep, going after Pi. Gonna try to get the down. No endgame perks in play. Slams against the tree, gonna slug, go for Alexi. Try to make this a 9 stage game and a 9 stage win con. And both sides will be fine with this. Camp, based on that start, should be very happy with this 9 stage result. I think if you would have asked chat to gamble mid-match, they would have said it would have gone under 9 stages. But 9 stages in a Wesker game, neither side can complain too much. Making sure Tyro leaves. Tyro does leave. Lexi can't die fast enough for Hacks to spawn because Alaranacant is already on top of the slug. Gets the basement hook just because. Tyro gets out as a fresh hook, 9 stages, 3 fresh. PSR's win con is going to be 9 stages, 4 fresh, or 10 stages. Can they do it? We'll find out soon. Here we are on the second half of the Wesker Wretched set between Dead Future and PSR. We have PSR's Georgie against Dead Future's Hamdown, Jinxie, Finesse, and Loris. You see a very fast first find, very fast first hit. The opposite of last match, as Loris is now stuck at the edge of this tile and gets a very fast first down. Georgia does. And there's the WSing. That was talked about in pregame chat. But that is a redemption for the non-cop fit. No cop fits, just like no egg add-ons this match. Instead, leather gloves. That is a power recharge reduction by about 10%. A very fast unhook. This game going at a significantly higher pace. Everything besides the generators, that is. An attempt at a very fast tunnel out, kicking the pallet. This is why Wesker runs brutal, and this is why you don't run at a Wesker. But Finesse does manage to take a hit, and Loris doesn't get smacked on the second half of that. There's the pre-drop on this pallet, drops Chase. All the 1v1ers out there having a great time watching that. Loris now stuck back around main, no pallet to play with, no teammates to play with. Gonna go back up on the hook. This is gonna be Loris' second before any gens pop. I was waiting to get proven wrong, but I was not. Georgie dashing all the way across the map. Looking on this next to Shack Gen. Survivor's gonna pre-leave. Let Georgie kick this with pop. Blast mine. Now the pop's gonna come back in. As the different gen pops. Pop is incomplete, not pop goes the weasel. You're welcome. And here's the injured Finesse. Drops the imposter 4-lane pallet. And fakes the dash off of Finesse, goes back to the hook. Loris gets unhooked. And the FTP for the people. The tunnel out is now healthy. The door in main gets kicked. And there's the drop. A gen will pop and the down will not come in. And won't come in there either. Loris has reached full infection though, 8% hindered until the next patch goes live. Down comes in anyways. Now we have a very different predicament. Georgie with 3 hooks on 1 survivor doesn't interrupt the reset in time. No 3 gen to hold. Gets the slam into another survivor. No 3 gen to hold. 4 gens left. 2 to pop. 4 gens left on the map, excuse me. Leaving the 2 ancient survivors, going to check on things. Gonna get the last second pop on this gen, make sure that doesn't pop anytime soon. Sees this one's at no progress. Just kicked one, one's at 0. This one's high progress. Sees Ham Dan is still all the way across the map. Gonna get the chase on Jinxie. Vaults the pallet. Not gonna play for the bus vault, gonna play for this pallet instead. Gets the stun on the Wesker dash as Hamdan gets the heal onto Finesse. Hamdan is heard while he's setting. Shack pallet dropped. Hamdan with the vault. Hopefully it's live, as if not, Hamdan going down. Finesse hopping out of the locker, looked like it was going to be a head-on play for Shack, but doesn't work out. Hamdan did not get there. Gonna hook on the hill. Is this pain res? Yes, it is. That is a Scourge hook on a hill facing the wall. If that's on your bingo card of rough things for the survivors to deal with, go ahead and cross that one off. Finesse gets hit at Shack with an M1. Georgie with the 2 dash. Doesn't get it. Sees that eye pallet though. So I guess this map is balanced, right? I fill up pallet against Wesker versus Scourge hook on a hill? Balanced? Sure. Here's the chase on Finesse. Misses a couple dashes without the use of a resource. M1 whiffs. Do they get to the pallet though? Guy's under the pallet. But because the unhook came in, there's not going to be a pallet save that Georgie is going to have to worry about. That broken is by second win, not deliverance. A deliverance is not allowed in this tier of play. And there's the second win value. First trick on a Finesse. Pain Res hits main. I was sitting at 5 stages, 3 fresh hooks. 3 survivors alive and 2 fresh. 1 fresh, excuse me. 2 gens left. Gets the stun on... Is that another imposter lane? Is that the 3rd or 4th imposter lane? Name checks out. Sees the unhook, sees the Finesse. Running. Should be able to make the pallet. Drops the pallet. Don't think they make the vault though. But Georgie mind games it. Didn't think that Georgie got the hit there. Doesn't look like this second dash is going to be able to do anything. Things have stabilized just the touch, just enough. There's Finesse's head on. Looks even more likely that that was a head-on play over at Jack earlier. Finesse now confined to the edge map.
I expected more from you.
Confined to a wall and a Wesker's grasp. Jinxie's last pain res left on the map, so this is going to be Finesse's second hook. They're gonna interrupt this gen, has pop, chooses to use the pop. Blast mine. Deja vu, and I'm not talking about the perk this time. Vaults out of main, sees someone go up the truck. Chooses to pursue them. Finesse is in fact Death Hook. And trying to 2v1 with 2 gens left is extremely rough. Playing the LT wall. Vaulted in power. Once again, vaulted in power. That was a... Was it a Wesker Hug Tech? Wesker Curve? Wesker something, tell you that much. Will that be a hit? No. But the quick and quiet vault gets red. Finesse goes down. Finesse is dead. Hamdan and Jinxie are going to have to pop 2 gens and get specifically Jinxie out. Because Jinxie's a fashion, one of those gens will pop. That was main, closer to the middle, much harder to defend 3 gens. And this generator is high progress, but has to be left. And it gets kicked. With pop goes the Weasel, getting a lot of value in this match. A lot more than it was last Wesker game. And there's the pallet stun. Hamdan just sitting there. This looks like it's going to be a very fast hit, though. There's the first hit. Here's what has to happen. Leaves Hamdan concerned about it this far gen popping. It's got a decent amount of progress. Not just about to pop, but spots Jinxie. Jinxie is the win con. If you hug Jinxie, survivors have to get both people out, because that would be 4 fresh. This is looking like a down on Jinxie. There's no pallets left over here. All of them were used. Besides that dropped one, Jinxie going on the hook is going to make this a lot harder. This would be the 4th fresh and the last pain res? It is the last pain res. That is 8 stages. 4 fresh. 1 hook stage on either survivor puts it to 9 stages for fresh and is the win for Georgie. That would be the win for PSR. And Hamdan is stuck between a tube and a Vad vault, but does get to play the eye filler against Wesker. This is going to be bloodlusted or kicked. We'll find out which. Very hard to use the power here. We'll find out. Looks like it's going to be... And there's the kick. Hamdan, gotta find a way to survive this. Looks like it won't happen, but dodges 2 dashes. Georgie is disappointed. But looks like PSR won't be. If Jinxie hits stage 2 or Hamdan goes down, this game is over. There is the down. And that looks like it's going to be it. It's going to be a 4K1 by PSR's Georgie against Dead Fuchsia Survivor. Wins the Wesker set, wins the match. But we will ask both teams and all staff if they would be available to do the tiebreaker set. You'll find out soon if we will be seeing Unknown Suffocation Pit 1. We might find out at the same time. If we do, see you then. And if not, see you next time.